Good afternoon, late afternoon actually, Quadcopter 101 here. What I got for you today is a neat little quadcopter I just got recently. This is the it's pronounced LIANSHENG LS114. Now the LS114, if you look at it, look how it's designed, it appears to be another clone of the old Wakira Ladybird, or remember the WL Toys V93, or what was it, 939? Which was also a clone of the little ladybird. But this one is a 6-axis quadcopter and includes a protective plastic ring around the blades to protect the blades from crashes. So that makes this both a great indoor and an outdoor flyer. I have a bit of a breeze today. We're going to see how it flies in a breeze with this ring on, but hopefully it'll do well. One other thing this quadcopter has is it's very nicely lit. Very pretty lights under this diffuser here. This should be a great night flyer also, is what I'm trying to say. The range on this is only predicted to be about 30 meters. We'll see if that's true. The controller for this appears to be a generic controller. You can control the rates, beginner, intermediate, and expert, by pushing in on the throttle button. It does have a headless mode, which you activate by pushing this button here. I don't know if it has one key return. We'll try to see if it does. And it can do flips by pressing this pitch roll stick. These buttons on the top, the shoulder buttons, they're labeled photo and video. This does not have a camera, so they are inoperative. One thing about this quadcopter, the battery in it is generic 3.7 volt micro quadcopter batteries. 300 to 380 will fit in here. I already fit 380s in there. They fit there easily. Another thing is when you plug in the battery into the quadcopter, you will notice, and this is what got me when I first got it, that it does not light up. That's because there's a tiny hidden on-off switch up here to turn the quadcopter on. So if you miss that on-off switch, you might think the quadcopter's broke, but no, it's not. It just has an on-off switch. And one other thing I want to mention before you attempt to fly this, some of the jokers at the factory really had the trim buttons off in the extreme on this controller here. I had to manually center them, keep moving the trim buttons until I heard the beep to know the center. The way I found out it was when I took off, this thing had a wild yaw on it as soon as I took off, and it was because the factory did not center these trim buttons before sending this transmitter out, so you got to keep that in mind too. That happened once before in another quadcopter of mine, so sometimes there's jokers at the factory. You want to have fun with the user. Maybe they had a bad day. So anyways, we're pointing in that direction here for the headless mode, binding it, and we're going to go to higher rate because of the breeze, just to see how it performs. Now, in low rate, I was flying this indoors. It's a great little flyer indoors. But again, I got a breeze here today, and it's got those little prop guards on it. I want to see if it can fly in this breeze. And it does seem to have the pitch to do such. Where's the flip button? Well, flip. Oh, it flips very nicely. Let's bring it down low so you can see that. So it can fight a breeze, surprisingly. Let's go to the headless mode. First off, press headless mode. I guess that was not headless mode. That might have been one key return. Let's try the other way. That's headless mode. I had to push up on the headless mode button to enter headless mode. How do I know I'm in headless mode? Because I can do this. I can do pirouettes now. So it does have headless mode, and you activate it again by pushing up on this button, and that should have turned it off. No, it's still in headless mode. Maybe it's pulling down on the button. Yeah. So it can fly in a breeze. Let's go to a higher rate and see what happens. This is expert rate. Doesn't seem to increase the pitch much, but does it increase the yaw? Yeah, it has good yaw on it now. Going to beginner yaw, intermediate yaw. Intermediate seems the most flyable though. Expert rate doesn't seem to increase the pitch that much, but it does greatly increase the yaw, and I will show that as the wind blows this bias. Going back upwind again. This is expert, and expert yaw rate. That's the wind blowing at bias. So you can fly this one in the wind. Again, the range on this is predicted to be about 30 meters. I might do another flight with this tomorrow out in the soccer field to see how it does. Going to expert rate, and actually you can go upwind easily with this in expert rate. And again, here comes the expert yaw. Beginner, intermediate. Relatively fun little quadcopter. I don't think it has a one key return. I'm going to have to try that off on a windless day out in the soccer field. Probably take it out tomorrow. I will be flying this tonight to show those lights. Those lights are very pretty. At least indoors they look very pretty. They should look great at night tonight. So we'll see. Is there any? There's still room for flips. So it's a great little quad. Good beginner's quad. Good indoor quad because of the protective rings. I would think it would be a good beginner's quad. That should protect those propellers. Again, it's an update of the old Ladybird with protective rings. Oh, wind funnels. Going downwind. Going back upwind again. Somebody asked us, that's a truck in the distance there. Somebody thought it was a stagecoach, but trucks come back from our local dump, which happens to be over in that direction here by the sun. And you'll see these large trucks carrying trailers behind them. They just made a run to the dump, is what it is. Nice. This is like a UDI, U818, but a micro version of it. Nice. Without a camera. And it can fight a wind, surprisingly, even with those rings on. I kind of like it. You hear the wind in my... Okay, here goes the power, and that's the flight time. And it doesn't drop from the sky either. I'm seeing that a lot more and more. The newer quadcopters are implementing a gradual reduction instead of a total shutdown of the motors so that you don't break your quadcopter when the battery runs out. This one here, as you saw there, lowered itself to the ground as the power ran out on the batteries. So again, this is the LIANSHENG LS114. Nice little quadcopter. It's a nice micro-sized with protective ring. I give it about 3.5 to 4 out of 5. Hope you enjoyed this flight. Quadcopter 101, signing out. Quadcopter 101 here with again with the LIANSHENG LS114. My battery died on my camera the other day, but I'm going to continue the review. It's a different day actually, as you can see here. No clouds in the sky. But let's go into the flight of the LIANSHENG LS114. Okay, quadcopter is on, turning on the transmitter. We're pointing it in that direction to set the headless mode. Binding the quadcopter. And we'll start off in beginner's rate to see how stable it is. And it is a very stable, great beginner's quadcopter. Let's take it up a little bit higher though. Let's try that headless mode while we're here. Okay, we're headless mode. No? Maybe the headless mode is the opposite direction. Hold on. Let's see if that does it. Yeah. Headless mode is pushing up. So there's the headless mode. Headless mode works on this very well. Right? Now what headless mode does, again, folks, is it doesn't care which direction the quadcopter is pointed. Like right now, I believe it's pointed toward me. If you push forward, it's going to go in the direction that it was pointed when you bound or started the quadcopter up. If you pull backward, it comes back from that direction. And right It'll go to the right of that direction, and the left of that direction there. So headless mode comes in handy for beginners, where all they have to worry about is using this right stick to fly their quadcopter around. They don't have to worry about which direction the quadcopter is pointed. They're just using the right stick. If you want to go to the right, you push to the right. If you want to go to the left, you push to the left. If you want to go forward, you push forward. And if you want to come back, you pull back. And again, it doesn't care which direction the nose is pointed on the quadcopter. That's headless mode in a nutshell for beginners. Okay, turning headless mode off, because I don't like to fly in headless mode. I like to, does that turn headless mode off? Or is that one key return? I'm still in headless mode, folks. Okay, now I'm out of headless mode. You push down to come out of headless mode. Okay, let's go to higher rate. And you do that by pressing this left stick button, as I discussed in the previous episode here. Let's bring it in close too. Okay, this is intermediate rate. Trying intermediate rate funnels. Let's go to higher rate. Expert rate. Very, very nice yaw rate and expert rate. That's left yaw, full left yaw, full right yaw. How about punch? There's the punch. Good punch. Seems to have good range too. It's predicted, I guess, 30 meters, I believe, but this is more than 30 meters, folks. So, actually, it's a nice flyer. I like those lights on it. You can actually see them in the daylight here. I don't know if you can see them with my camera, but they look nice. Intermediate rate. Okay, got a little breeze picking up. How's it going to do in the breeze? Doesn't seem to care. So again, you know, this is a clone. Expert. A clone of the old Ladybirds, but with a protective ring on it. Mainly that protective ring, I guess, would be great for indoor flying. I think it comes off. Can it come off? Let me see. Oh no, it can't because of the lights. It has a headlight in it, and I don't want to disconnect that. Wonder if it could possibly be disconnectable. But again, mostly for beginner flyers. Let's go back to beginner rate to show that. Very stable in beginner rate. But if you want to give it some oomph, it's got the oomph. And it has a nice headlight on it. I got to fly this tonight to show you this outdoor flying. It should be a great outdoor flyer, huh? See all those lights? I can feel the wind from this. Feels good. Nice and cool. LS114. I kind of like it. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give it a 4 stars. Great beginner's quadcopter. Well protected. Good indoor flyer. It's going to be a great indoor flyer, actually. You can let me bounce against something and see if it'll stay in the air. Hold on, folks. I'm going to land it for a second. Let's see if it'll stay in the air like the SEMA. Oh, don't tell me the battery's dying already. Damn it. Do I got another battery? I think I got another battery. I want to demonstrate at least to see if this thing will bounce off of a tree and stay flying. That's a big point that I like about the SEMA X11. Can this do something similar? Let me get in my bag of quads here, get another battery. By the way, again, this will fit just about any of the micro quadcopter batteries, as you see here. Just threw another one in. I was going to save that for my wife. She wants to fly her little Mold King here shortly. Okay, I'm just going to use this battery for a little bit because I got to save the juice for my wife. She wants to practice. But let's see if we can bounce against objects and keep on flying. See, that's a lamp post, or a lamp. Oh, yeah. Let's do it again. Are you going to stay in the air? Well, sometimes. How about a light tap? Oh, yeah, light taps that'll survive. The wind's pushing it. How about that? Come back in here again. Let's try it again. One more time. I gotta fight this wind now. Where'd that wind come from? It wasn't here earlier. I'm sorry, folks. Well, yeah, there you go. Don't care. Sometimes. Okay. So that's the LS114. I'm going to save this extra battery here again for my wife. It is a good beginner's quadcopter. I like it. I give it a 4 out of 5 for beginners. Hope you enjoyed this flight. It's Quadcopter 101, signing out.